Love. John Travolta and his wife are hearing lots of congratulations and some criticism recently. That's because actress Kelly Preston is pregnant at the age of 47. You know, it sparks a debate. Just how old is too old to have a baby? Tonight, perspectives from two mature mothers, I should say. Dr. Wendy Walsh is a former journalist and now psychologist who had her second daughter at the age of 41, and that seems, you know, pretty young now because people are having kids older. And Angela Liberte is a blogger at flowerpowermom.com, a site dedicated to mothers over 40. She had her son at 41 and then a daughter just before her 45th birthday. Thank you. Wow, did I say, is that right, Liberte?
La Liberté, Don.
La Liberté, thank you.
La Liberté, French Canadian.
Just like it says, liberté for all. Okay, so listen, Angel, the first question many people think when they hear, you know, Kelly Preston is pregnant, is it responsible to deliberately try to have a child at the age of 47?
Well, I like the use of the word responsible and deliberate and intentional, because basically mothers over 40 put the planning into Planned Parenthood. These women have spent a lifetime exploring their careers, their dreams, and, you know, let's face it, it's the modern era. If they're going to do it, they've sowed their wild oats. They are ready to settle down and have a child. And, you know, in many cases when they get to that age, they've had to jump through quite a few hoops with fertility treatments and things like that. And when that child comes into the home, that child's going to be very cherished, very loved, and you know, they've fought for that child. Additionally, just thinking about it, you know, women over 40 are likely to be more financially secure, so they've got a good foundation on which to build a secure family future.
All right, but listen, and I want Dr. Walsh, Wendy, I should say, we're all pals now. Wendy, I want you to jump in here, because what is she gonna, when Kelly's gonna be 50 when the child is 3, and what does that make? 65, 66 when the child graduates high school. So what's your response to this? Is it responsible?
Right, 70 when the child graduates college. I think that the debate heats up when you think about postmenopausal babies, and we don't know if Kelly's baby is pre or postmenopause by any means, because menopause can start from 40 to 55. But there have been plenty of instances using in vitro where women are sort of, with the help of medicine, becoming pregnant later. Now, the government expects us to basically be responsible for our kids for 18 years. So then you start to look at life expectancy, which currently in America is 78.4 years. I think that people get concerned when they see cases like the Spanish woman a few years ago, the tragic case where she gave birth at the age of 67, a week shy of her 67th birthday, to twins, and she was a single mother, and she'd lied about her age at a fertility clinic, and then tragically died of cancer 2 years later, leaving these babies orphaned. And this is the fear. But you know, there's another thing people post on my blogs too. Why are we talking about women? What about all the older guys who have young wives who may drop off?
Yeah, it used to be. It used to think that men could have children, and men are, you know, as long as they're fertile or whatever, they can have kids at any age. But it also poses problems as well. Listen. I want to get your response to this. So I want to take a look at health risks. Just some points here that I want to tell you about, and then for women, right? Because we talked about men. A 45-year-old mom is 23 times more likely to have a baby with a chromosome problem than a 20-year-old woman, and babies of moms 50 and older are much more likely to be premature, have low birth weight, diabetes, hypertension, and be in a hospital. So, Angel, you heard what Dr. Walsh said about that. We talked about men. It's a problem with men as well. So how do you reconcile these increased medical risks here?
Well, you know, first of all, modern fertility medicine has come a long way since the test tube baby in the 1970s. And women have many, many more choices, especially postmenopausal women. And, you know, women in their 40s. I conceived with my own eggs, and I have 2 beautiful babies. I feel very fortunate. But other women my age and older may want to look into other methods, such as freezing their eggs when they're younger, such as egg donors. They have many choices. And when it comes to having children with your own eggs, modern medical technology allows you to weigh up, you know, and make educated choices about that. So, you know, it's very simplistic and linear just to talk about the chromosome risks when it comes to having children when you're older. There are many options. One of the things that has really interested me is the controversy about older women having children, not just here in the U.S., but in the U.K. there are very strong feelings about whether or not we should be putting a cap on the age at which women can get pregnant. I find that a very scary, scary notion, because that opens a terrible can of worms.
Oh, Angel, that was my next question to both of you. You know, should the government legislate this? And now, Wendy, I know you and I talked about this a little bit. Britain, as you said, the UK tried to legislate it. So I'm going to ask both of you, should there be a limit? Should the government try to legislate it? Wendy, you first.
Well, certainly in France and Italy, there were efforts to have the medical community police it a little bit so that they weren't impregnating women who were so far past menopause that it was made a danger to the fetus, danger to the wife, to the mother. But of course, these laws, none of them stuck. And the British Secretary of Health about 10 years ago said in her argument for it that a woman doesn't have a right to have a baby. The child has a right to have a suitable home. Now, myself, my area is psychology, so I want to know who's going to raise the child? What are the multiple attachments? What's the extended family like? It takes a village to raise a child.
And Angel, real quick, so
well, I think it does take a village. It does take a village to raise a child, but then you're going to have the same issues with younger pregnancies that are perhaps unwanted. The bottom line is, if you start legislating a cap on age, you're opening a can of worms for men too. I mean, if you read an article in the New York Times that came out last year, there's a whole panoply of risks from older fathers with their sperm, including increased miscarriage,
Angel,
autism.
We're going to have to wrap it up here. Yeah, we've made those points. Sorry to cut you off. This is a conversation we're going to continue to have here, and I find it very interesting, even though, you know, I'm still young enough. I'm not, I don't think those risks apply to me as well, but I still find it very interesting. So thank you both. And I'm sure we want to say good luck to Kelly Preston and to John Travolta with all the controversy and tragedy they've had. It'd be nice for them to have a healthy baby.
Babies are a joy.
Thank you, Ms. La Liberté and Dr. Walsh. We appreciate it. Naomi Campbell back in court, this time to help